Okay, so let's talk about how to actually format text in InDesign. I'm going to go ahead and select my text tool and draw out a text frame. I'm going to right click that and do a fill with placeholder text so we have lots of text to play with. Now, I can edit the text a number of different ways. One of those is just to simply double click, or I can switch over to my text tool and then click, and now I'm modifying that text. Now, InDesign works off of a character and paragraph based system, so this means that there's two options up here. There's character formatting and paragraph formatting. Character is, as you can imagine, individual characters, the way that the type looks and the way that it works. So if I select this and I make it larger or smaller, it'll change that. Paragraph more so deals with alignment, margins, indents, and things like hyphenate. So if I turn that on and off, right, it turns off the hyphenation for this specific paragraph. This paragraph is not affected because I'm in this paragraph right now. So if I click on this one and I turn off hyphenate, then the hyphen turns off there, turn it back on, turn it on here, etc. So it's playing with each paragraph, which it sees as a hard return. So if I make a hard return, this is a new paragraph, and I can turn the hyphenation on and off, etc. Now let's go back to the character formatting. We're not going to really use the paragraph formatting too often. We're going to be creating styles later to be playing with paragraph formatting. So let's stick with the character formatting. This is where we can change the font size, and all kinds of things. So I need to make a selection to actually do anything. If I just change it up here, nothing happens. So I'm going to make a selection, and right here I can make it larger and smaller. I can change the styling if my font has any stylings, and obviously right here I can change the font. One of the nice things in InDesign is I can actually change a filter to select different families of script. So like serif, if I only want to have serif fonts, or decorative if I'm looking for, weird decorative fonts, and I can change it there. Then we have leading right here. So leading is the space between the lines. Right, so if I up that, it's increasing the space from this line to this line. Now, it doesn't exactly work the same in pretty much every other software in existence. Usually, if you did this, it would change it for the whole paragraph. But for some reason, the leading in InDesign only works on a one-line basis. You may like that. That's fine. If you don't, which I definitely don't, I'm going to click on InDesign and go to Preferences and then Type. If you're on Windows, it may be in a slightly different place. But you go to the Type Preferences and just check this box that says Apply Leading to Entire Paragraphs, and I'll hit OK. Now if I change the leading, it changes it for that whole paragraph. Notice it's not affecting the paragraph down here, just this one right here. Great. Next to that we have all caps. This will convert a selection to all caps. This will convert a selection to small caps, which is basically capital letters that are the same size as lowercase letters. This will convert it to superscript, subscript, underline, strike through, right? All your basics. Here we have our kerning, right? You know what kerning is. It's the space between letters. So if I click between these two letters and I start playing with the kerning, right, I can change it just between those two letters. Here's the tracking, which is the spacing of the whole line between all the letters. This is the vertical scale of the text. Typically, you won't be using this independently from the horizontal scaling of the text. Usually, it's a good idea to just change the font size rather than changing the scale. There can be some issues whenever you do that. You have the baseline shift. This just basically moves the text up along its baseline. So it's a little bit different than leading, but kind of the same thing, just accomplishes it in a different way. And here we have the skew. So this is to basically spoof italics. A lot of fonts don't come with italics. For instance, Minion Pro does not come with italics, so you can fake that with the skew option here. Put that back at 0. Finally, we have the fill. So this is the fill color. And if we click this, it will pull up our library, so I can just go ahead and add that to swatches, and now you should see my color theme right here. Okay, so there's the fill on that text, so we just added a fill to it, and below that is the stroke of that text. So now we have a fill and a stroke.